In a recent video, I shared the skincare ingredients which have made a drastic difference in the health and appearance of my skin. Under that video, I got quite a few questions on how I combine certain ingredients, and I also got quite a few requests to share my current skincare routine. So in today's video, I will be sharing my current morning as well as evening skincare routine. Now, first of all, I apologize for my voice. We traveled from the West Coast to the East Coast, and I got really sick and lost my voice, which has never happened to me before. I actually already filmed the evening portion of this video and was then going to film the morning part the next day. I got sick, I lost my voice, which is why I didn't have a video for you last week. Now, my voice is still not perfect, but I didn't want to wait another week and miss another video. So hopefully it's not too annoying. So as I mentioned, I will be sharing my current morning as well as evening skincare routine. But please keep in mind that I'm not a dermatologist nor esthetician. I am just sharing with you what has worked for me. But of course we are all different. So I would love it if in the comments you would share your current skincare routine and or some ingredients which have made a difference for you. Also, by no means am I saying that I have perfect skin. In fact, I don't believe that perfect skin exists. Loss of elasticity, fine lines and wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, broken capillaries, somewhat enlarged pores, all of those things are normal, especially as we age. And I have every single one of them. But while my skin is not perfect, it is now at age 55 much healthier than it has ever been. And lastly, as I mentioned, I shared skincare ingredients rather than products because I do switch skincare products somewhat frequently. I have what a friend of mine refers to as skincare ADD. I love skincare and I always have a running wish list of skincare products I want to try down the road. I also don't mind spending a bit extra on skincare, especially since I don't spend it on makeup. So I do use some pricier skincare products. However, that being said, I don't believe that skincare has to be expensive to be effective. But I do believe that ingredients and formulation matter. And when I look at products, for the most part, I look for ingredients which are backed by science. So with that said, let's start with my current morning skincare routine. I apologize for the lighting and the very boring background. We are currently traveling and I'm just in the hotel bathroom. So I just got out of the shower and personally I wash my face in the mornings and I usually do so under the shower. When I first get up, I apply sunscreen because I take Serum for a walk. And we are out there for about 30 to 45 minutes. So I do need some SPF. After walking Serum, I work out. So in the shower, of course, I want to wash off the sunscreen, the dirt from being outside, and the sweat from working out. Now, most mornings, I even double cleanse because usually I wear waterproof SPF. So for my first cleanse this morning, I use the Glowbiotics Gel to Oil Cleanser. This is an okay cleanser. It does start out as a gel and once massaged into the skin, turns into an oil. So the oil then loosens up the sunscreen and sweat and gets my skin ready for my second cleanse. So this is what I'm currently using for my first cleanse, but usually what I look for in a first cleanser is that it is oil-based. So a cleansing oil, a cleansing balm, or something like this. And then for my second cleanse, I use the IS Clinical Cleansing Complex. This is actually a beautiful cleanser, and I have repurchased this numerous times. This contains willow bark extract as well as sugarcane extract, which contains natural alpha-hydroxy acids. So this is very slightly exfoliating, but I can use this morning and night without any irritation. Now, if I have time in the mornings, I will do some red light therapy, and if I'm at home, I will just stand in front of my full body panel. If I'm traveling, like right now, I will use my Maisama Prana mask, which I love. And then if I have some more time, I will also do some microcurrent. Now for my first serum, I have been using this right here by Young Goose. This is the Youth Reset Serum, and this is one of Young Goose's newer products. If you're not familiar with Young Goose, I actually interviewed Anastasia and Amitai, the founders of Young Goose. It was a very interesting video. I will link it down below in case you missed it. So this is one of Young Goose's newer products. The company did send me one of these to try, but I have since repurchased this. So this is actually the one I purchased. This contains copper peptides, and there are actually some promising studies on copper peptides showing that they can help increase skin firmness as well as help reduce fine lines and wrinkles. So this does contain copper peptides. It also contains resveratrol. And just like on copper peptides, there are some promising studies on resveratrol showing that, especially when combined with other antioxidants, it too can help with skin firmness and the reduction of fine lines and wrinkles. On top of copper peptides and resveratrol, this also contains spermidine, a vitamin C derivative, as well as NAD precursors. Now, if you have been here for any length of time, you have heard me talk about NAD and NAD precursors at length. But just in a nutshell, NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, is a very important molecule we have in every cell in our body, including our skin cells. However, as we age, as with so many things, NAD declines rapidly, which can lead to a host of problems. Luckily, scientists have discovered that certain forms of vitamin B3, such as NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide, or NR, nicotinamide riboside, are direct precursors to this very important molecule, NAD. Now, taking NAD internally, or even applying it to the skin, it is not going to be absorbed. The molecule is too big, which is why many of us, myself included, take NAD precursors, such as NMN or NR. Now, as far as NAD precursors in skincare, I definitely think we need a bit more research. However, since NAD is found in every cell in our body, including our skin cells, it would make sense that boosting NAD in our skin cells would be beneficial for the skin. So this does contain copper peptides, resveratrol, spermidine, a vitamin C derivative, as well as NAD precursors. It has a beautiful consistency. It is quite watery and very hydrating. I have been using this serum for about 6 weeks now. I cannot tell you that I have seen a huge difference. However, I really do like how innovative this serum is, which is why I want to give it a good try. Like I said, I was sent one of these serums by the company and have since repurchased it. The one I was sent isn't empty yet because I only use this in the mornings. But since we are traveling, I brought the brand new one just to make sure I don't run out. Unfortunately, this is not cheap, so I am currently testing it. Like I said, I do want to give it a good try, and then I will let you know how I feel about it. So far, I really like the consistency. it is very hydrating, and it's also very soothing. I recently did a vitamin A peel, which I made a video on, and I'm not going to lie, after that peel, my skin felt quite raw. So 2 days after the peel, when I went back to my regular skincare routine, which this is currently part of, I applied this and it felt so good. My skin was drinking it up, and like I said, it also felt quite soothing. For my second serum, I am using a vitamin C serum. Now in the video I talked about in the intro, I actually showed you that I was using the Zero Skin Health vitamin C serum, which contains 10% ascorbic acid as well as 5% tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, which is a vitamin C derivative. That was a beautiful serum. I used it almost all up. However, since I started using this serum, and at least according to some experts, ascorbic acid and copper peptides don't mix, I was looking for a vitamin C derivative. And I heard Penn Smith talk about this serum right here called Dear Lucy. This contains 10% tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, which again is a vitamin C derivative. It also contains alpha-butane, which is a pigment inhibitor, seaweed extract, and squalene. Now, most studies on vitamin C have been done on ascorbic acid, and those studies look quite promising. However, ascorbic acid, having to be in a somewhat acidic formulation, can be irritating to some, myself included. I did not have any problems with the Zero Skin Health vitamin C serum, but most ascorbic acid serums irritate my skin. And again, since I started using this, and most experts agree that copper peptides and ascorbic acid don't mix, I was looking for a vitamin C derivative. And newer studies actually show that vitamin C derivatives, such as tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, also quite effectively help repair photo-damaged skin, as well as help with collagen and elastin production. So that's great news for those of us who are somewhat sensitive to ascorbic acid and or want to use a vitamin C alongside copper peptides. So this is a fairly new serum to me. I've only been using this for about 3 weeks, but so far I really love it. It has a lotion-like, let me put this down, very hydrating and even somewhat soothing feel, unlike ascorbic acid, which again can be somewhat irritating. And I can take this all the way under my eyes and even down my neck. And my neck usually does not like vitamin C in the form of ascorbic acid. So I have really been enjoying this serum, and I definitely think I will repurchase it. Another thing I really love about this is, first of all, that it comes in a glass bottle, and secondly, when I'm done with this, I just unscrew this and purchase a refill. I really love when companies do this, and I think actually that Young Goose is going that way now too. I think they are going to refills. It does make me feel better about purchasing all these products. So this vitamin C serum I have really been enjoying, and like I said, I definitely think I will repurchase this. Now currently I am not using an eye cream. I kind of go back and forth on whether eye creams are necessary or not. Sometimes I think they are, and sometimes I think they aren't. As I'm getting older, I have been using more eye creams, but currently I'm not using an eye cream because I'm currently testing the Plasma Restore Cream from Dr. Rijani. My friend Cheryl from Yoga Girls World and myself are currently testing this because so many of you have asked me, could I please try this? So this contains volufiline, which is a trade name ingredient developed by the company Sederma in France. Volufiline is supposed to be lipofilling. So in other words, it's supposed to help restore some volume. Now, Cheryl and I will be testing this for at least 6 weeks. It has been about 3 weeks, and while Sederma actually says that you can see a difference within 14 days, I can't tell you that I have seen a difference. So far, all I can tell you is that I like the consistency of this cream. So this does contain volufiline. It also contains a small amount of tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, as well as a vitamin A derivative, which can be used during the day, and shea butter. And by the way, talking about this containing a small amount of tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, I of course do want to have antioxidants in my morning skincare routine. But you did just see me apply 2 different serums. This contains copper peptides, resveratrol, a vitamin C derivative. So this does contain antioxidants. And then, of course, I applied the Lucy vitamin C serum. So technically, I am doubling up on my antioxidants, and it really isn't necessary. I could really just use one or the other of these. But I love skincare, and I want to test both of these, which is why I'm currently using both of these. However, on days I'm in a rush, I will just use one or the other. So again, both of these are not necessary. So this cream right here does contain a small amount of tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate. I wouldn't feel comfortable to actually think that it is enough to give me enough antioxidant protection, which is why I want to use an antioxidant serum below. Dr. Vijani says this can be used by itself or with your regular skincare routine. So this is a fairly thick cream, and it does have this shea buttery feel to it. And I am applying it somewhat sparingly because in the beginning I used too much of it and I got quite a bit of pilling. But what I do with this is I first focus on the areas where I would like a bit extra volume. So under my eyes, above the lips where my skin is getting quite thin, around my chin, and then once I have focused on those areas, I will just spread this all over. Now I am not applying this cream to my neck because currently I am testing the Nebulift, which is a radiofrequency device, and I'm testing the Nebulift only on my neck. So I am testing it right under my chin, seeing if I can tighten up some of this loose skin. And because I'm testing the Nebulift, I don't want to apply this to my neck, just in case this does give me any lifting or volumizing. I don't want to get the results from this confused with the results I might be getting from the Nebulift. But because I'm not applying this to my neck, I am actually currently using a neck cream. And for that, I am using the Young Goose. This is the Adaptogenic Neck and Chest Cream. This was sent to me by the company to try. In fact, I had a conversation with Amitai, one of the founders of Young Goose, and for some reason we started talking about my neck, and I told him how I had neglected my neck my whole life, my neck and my chest, and how I didn't like the way my neck looked. And Amitai said, "Oh my gosh, you have to try our neck and chest cream. It will change your life." To be honest, it hasn't changed my life yet, but I really like the consistency. It is a very thick, buttery consistency, and this does contain some peptides, marine algae extract, a vitamin C derivative, and some other beautiful ingredients. I have been using this for maybe 8 weeks now, and while my neck feels nicely hydrated, like I said, it hasn't changed my life, but I am hoping using something on my neck consistently is actually going to make a difference. Now, normally I will just take my moisturizer down my neck. However, I have to be really careful with many actives on my neck. My neck doesn't like ascorbic acid or retinoic acid, so I am somewhat limited with actives on my neck. But as far as moisturizers, usually I'm fine just take in whatever I put on my face, down my neck. So I'm not sure a neck cream is necessary, but I am giving my neck and my chest a bit extra love because, like I said, I have neglected it quite a bit. I'm not sure I will repurchase this, to be honest. I might try a different neck cream. If you have any favorites, any that have made a difference, please share down below. And lastly, of course, I will apply sunscreen. Now, normally I would let this sink in a little bit, wait about 15 minutes or so, and then apply sunscreen. But in the interest of time, I'm going to apply it right now. I am not too picky when it comes to sunscreen. In the past, I only used mineral SPFs, and that was before Korean, European, and Australian SPFs, chemical SPFs, came along. And now I really go back and forth between mineral or European, Australian, or Asian SPFs, because the filters used, the chemical filters used in those SPFs are much advanced to what we have in the United States. Chemical filters used in American sunscreens do irritate my somewhat reactive skin, but again, Korean, Australian, European SPFs, chemical SPFs usually do not irritate my skin. But right now on my face, I'm going to apply a mineral SPF, and this is actually one of you recommended. It is by Everyday, and this is the Mineral Mousse SPF 50+. This is an Australian SPF, again, one of you recommended it, and I did have to pay shipping to get this shipped from Australia, but it was worth it. It is a beautiful SPF. I actually got another one of theirs, which I will show in a different video. So this is a tinted, and again, it's called Mineral Mousse, and it does feel very moussey and very hydrating. In fact, when you first apply it, it almost feels as if it doesn't rub in, because it is so slippery and hydrating. But eventually it does sink in and leaves a beautiful velvety finish. It doesn't give too much coverage, but just gives a slight tint to make me look a bit healthier. Now I'm going to apply another layer to my face, but you don't have to watch me do that. However, I do want to show you another SPF I have really been enjoying for my face as well as my neck and my chest. But right now I will just apply it to my neck. On my neck, I don't like to wear tinted SPF because it's just going to rub off on my clothes. So another SPF I have really been enjoying, like I said, for my face, neck and chest, but right now I'm just going to apply it to my neck, is the Haro Haro Wonder. This is the Black Rice Moisture Airlift Daily Sunscreen. It has an SPF of 50+ with a PA rating of 4+. I saw this, my friend Cheryl from Yoga Girls World really loves this, so that's why I first saw this, and it is incredible. I purchased this on Amazon. I think it was $9, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm almost out of it already because I have really been enjoying it. It is a very moisturizing SPF. Has a similar feel to the Beauty of Joseon SPF, but honestly I like this one even better. I do find it a bit more moisturizing, and the Beauty of Joseon, depending on what I put underneath, gives me the slightest white cast. This one does not. This is incredible. So this is another SPF I've really been enjoying. So like I said, I will apply a whole nother layer, and then I will go on with my day, and I will see you for my evening skincare routine. So at night, just like most mornings, I always double cleanse my skin to make sure I get rid of all the sunscreen and dirt and grime from the day. So tonight for my first cleanse, again, I use the Glowbiotics Gel to Oil Cleanser. And then for my second cleanse, again, I use the IS Clinical Cleansing Complex. Now for my first step at night, after cleansing my skin, I like to apply either a growth factor or peptide serum. And there is some promising research on both growth factors as well as certain peptides. Currently, I am using a peptide serum, and it is the Elastin Regenerative Skin Complex. All the Elastin products contain what the company calls a trihex technology, which is a proprietary blend of peptides and botanicals, specifically engineered, and they say, to clear out old collagen and elastin, which has been damaged by the sun or aging, while supporting the skin's natural ability to produce new collagen and elastin. So this is a beautiful, very hydrating and soothing serum. I have been using this for probably about 6 weeks, and I do really like it. But like I said, I do like to switch back and forth between growth factors and peptides. And then for my second step at night, I use a retinoid. Now, for the most part, I will use retinoic acid or tretinoin. But I once heard Dr. Fernandez, a very well-known plastic surgeon from South Africa, and actually the pioneer of microneedling, I heard him say once that he believes it is a good idea to use different forms of retinoids, because in his opinion, they all affect the receptors differently and therefore give different results. So for the most part, I use retinoic acid. And for my retinoic acid, I use the Altrino 0.05% tretinoin. This is well used, as you can see, and this is by prescription only. So I have my doctor call this into a pharmacy. So for the most part, I use retinoic acid, because of course we know that retinoic acid is the gold standard in anti-aging. Many studies have shown that retinoic acid is not just effective when it comes to increasing cell turnover, as well as increasing collagen and elastin production, and therefore increasing dermal thickness, but retinoic acid has also shown to be beneficial in the treatment of certain skin cancers. So retinoic acid is definitely the gold standard in anti-aging, and I would say retinoic acid combined with sunscreen are the two ingredients that have made the biggest difference in the health and appearance of my skin. So almost nightly, I would say 6 nights a week, sometimes even 7 nights a week, just depends on how my skin feels, I use retinoic acid, sometimes by itself. Sometimes I will actually mix it with this product right here by Skin Better Science. This is the Skin Better Science Alpha Red Intensive. This contains retinol, and it also contains 17% alpha hydroxy acids. I don't know the exact breakdown between glycolic acid and lactic acid. It does contain both. So what I will do about 4 nights a week, I will take about 1.5 pumps of this and combine it with a pea-sized amount of my tretinoin. And this is a beautiful formulation. It is quite hydrating. This contains hyaluronic acid, so it is quite hydrating, and it also makes it really spreadable. So I will combine these two and then apply them all over my face as well as my chest. My neck is not crazy about retinoic acid, unfortunately, because my neck, again, could really use a bit of love. I can use retinoic acid on my neck about once a week, and then about another twice a week, 2 days a week, I can use this on my neck, but that's about it. If I use either of these more frequently on my neck gets very, very irritated. But my chest and my face are very retinized and can definitely handle this combination. I did, however, work my way up to combining these two. Again, this does contain 17% alpha hydroxy acids, and alpha hydroxy acids is another ingredient, or better yet, group of ingredients, I have seen quite a difference with. Alpha hydroxy acids such as glycolic acid and lactic acid help to slough off the outer layer of our skin, so they exfoliate our skin, but they can also help with collagen and elastin production. So this particular combination I use about 4 nights a week. On the other nights, I just use my retinoic acid. However, twice a week, I use a different form of exfoliation. I use the Skin Better Science Alpha Red exfoliating pads. These contain glycolic acid, lactic acid, salicylic acid, and a tiny bit of retinol. I use these twice a week, usually on a Wednesday and Sunday night, and just so I remember. On Wednesdays and Sundays when I use these, I will not use this combination. I will, however, afterwards use my retinoic acid. So you can definitely combine retinoids, even retinoic acid, with alpha hydroxy acids if your skin can handle it. I started very slowly. My skin has been retinized for quite a while. I have been using retinoic acid for 5 years. But I started slowly with glycolic acid. Lactic acid is less irritating than glycolic acid. It has a bigger molecule, so it doesn't penetrate quite as deeply, but it still works beautifully. And that is actually what I started with when I first started with alpha hydroxy acids. I started with lactic acid. So twice a week, I use these, usually on a Wednesday and Sunday. I take one of these pads and I swipe it all over my face, neck and chest. On those nights, I afterwards just use my retinoic acid. 4 nights a week, not on the nights I use this, I combine these two. This again does contain 17% alpha hydroxy acids, and this is my retinoic acid. After using my retinoid, I will then use my estrogen cream. And I actually made a whole video on topical estrogen and the benefits of it. If you have not seen that video, I will link it down below. So this is what I'm currently using and have been using for about 1 year now. This is by My Alloy, and this contains 0.3% estriol. There are some really promising studies showing that either 0.01% estradiol or 0.3% estriol applied topically for an extended period of time led to a significant increase in dermal thickness as well as a reduction in lines and wrinkles. Another promising study showed that combining topical estrogen with glycolic acid led to an even greater improvement in epidermal thickness. And it was actually that particular study that made me step up my alpha hydroxy acid game. Now, in that particular study, a 15% glycolic acid cream was used. But I'm not sure if it really needs to be a 15% glycolic acid cream or if it is just a combination of alpha hydroxy acids with estrogen that led to an even greater improvement. I did for a while look for a 15% glycolic acid cream and couldn't find anything I liked. So I just combined these two or this, and I have my glycolic acid. So this is a prescription-only cream as well. This is an online prescription. It is very easy to obtain, and I will link the link for it down below in case you're curious. But again, this contains 0.3% estriol. And the studies I just mentioned actually showed that applying 0.3% estriol or 0.01% estradiol did not have a systemic effect. In other words, it did not raise estrogen levels. And I actually get my estrogen levels measured quite frequently because I am on HRT. And like I said, I have been using this for about a year now, and my estrogen levels have not been changed by this. So that's good news. And under that video I just mentioned, quite a few of you asked me, how do I combine this with my tretinoin, with my retinoic acid? So this is how I do it. I apply my retinoic acid first, then my estrogen cream. You could do it the other way around and that way buffer your retinoic acid some, but this is how I do it. And then lastly, of course, I apply a moisturizer. Now, if you don't have dry skin, if you have somewhat oily skin, this would be moisturizing enough. but I like to apply a moisturizer afterwards. And currently, of course, I am testing the Dr. Estrogen Cream. So that is what I have been using as my last step at night. Again, I will make a whole video on this once I see if it actually does something. Part of me wants it to not do anything because this is insanely expensive. I think I spent $285 on this, which is crazy for a pot of cream. So a part of me wants it to not work. The other part of me wants it to work because it would be lovely if there is a topical product that actually helps with volume loss. So again, I apply this all over my face, focusing on the areas where I would like to see a bit increased volume, such as under the eyes, above my lips, and right around here. And then I just spread it all over my face. And again, because I am currently using this or testing this, I am not using an eye cream because I do want to see if this does anything under my eyes. And again, I am not applying this to my neck because I am currently testing the Nebulift. So my last step is going to be my neck cream. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I do switch skincare products somewhat frequently. But I always want to have some core ingredients in my routine. In the evening, that will be a form of vitamin A retinoid. Usually retinoic acid, but a form of vitamin A. In the mornings, I want to have antioxidants such as vitamin C, resveratrol, green tea, or a combination of antioxidants, and of course, sunscreen. I also want to have some alpha-hydroxy acids in my routine, and then either growth factors or peptides. And then here and there I will play with some newer ingredients such as NAD precursors, senolytics, or DNA repair enzymes. But my core ingredients again are a form of vitamin A, antioxidants, and sunscreen, alpha-hydroxy acids, and either growth factors or peptides. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, I would love to know in the comments, if you don't mind sharing, your current skincare routine and maybe some ingredients which have made a difference in your skin. Any questions or comments, of course, please leave them down below. You know, always love to hear from you. And that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, bye.